Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another sewing vlog video and it's been a while. I haven't been on here and I've had 3 weeks without an upload, which is pretty unheard of for me, but I'll explain more in a video coming soon. I've just been feeling like poorly and stuff like that, but yeah, so I thought I would do some filming whilst I actually felt well enough today and I'm going to be making the Friday Pattern Company square neck top. You might have seen in one of my fabric stash videos recently that I wanted to make me and my sister's matching birthday outfits. So I actually made 2 Wilder dresses, one for me and one for my other sister. And I probably should put a little disclaimer before I just start chatting about them, but I am a triplet, so all 3 of us are turning 30 this week, and classic me, I've left this last project to the last minute. I made the 2 Wilder dresses, and because I vlogged the Wilder dress before, I didn't want to vlog them, I just sort of cracked on with that. But I've not vlogged this pattern before, and I've obviously not made it before, but it looks really straightforward and simple, so I thought I would just do a little, you know, very quick chatty vlog today whilst I make this, you know, and show you guys, and then I can show you the finished 3 outfits for me and my sisters. But yeah, so the actual make itself looks quite straightforward. There's not much in the way of like things to do. I think the trickiest part, by just looking through the instructions, will probably be getting a really nice clean finish along the square shape of the neckline, and then the top stitching, so being able to turn it in on itself and then top stitching on the you know, on the right side as well, just to make sure it looks all lovely and neat and everything. So that will probably be the trickiest part. But we will see. I'm really excited to get this made today, and obviously just to get it ready for my sister, because I feel bad that I've left this one to the last minute, but hey ho. Also, I am aware I look a little bit, but I'm not wearing makeup at the moment because my skin is really bad, so all of the disclaimers out there, and I'm sure you guys don't mind. I'm just glad to be making a video, so we're just gonna go with it. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is, well, it's all cut out ready. The first thing I need to do actually, I think, is stay stitching around the neckline and then the darts. So I'm going to do that. I'll show you the fabric as well that I'm using. I'm just going to get my machine all set up because at the moment I'm just doing bits and bobs on my laptop. So yeah, I'll get my machine set up. I'll show you the fabric and all that stuff. Right. Whew, it is... What's going on with my t-shirt, sorry. It's time to start sewing. I just remembered I had to iron on interfacing onto the facing pieces. So I've just done that. And little tip as well, I basically had run out of like interfacing and I had scrap pieces left. So what I did, you'll probably be able to see it in a close-up, I just did it on the fold, so I just cut separate pieces from like very small pieces of interfacing that I had left, and I managed to salvage it so that I used up as much scrap interfacing as possible. So that worked really well actually. I was quite pleased that I managed to get enough out of the pieces that I had left, because otherwise it just would have been a disaster. So okay, the first thing I need to do, we've got my pieces, so this is the back piece and then the front piece. There's honestly 4 pieces in this pattern, super easy. So this is the front piece. I just need to do stay stitching around the necklines. Let me just check, because I always do this. I go to sew and I haven't checked what the seam allowance is, and then I get messed up. So seam allowance is 5/8 on this one. Okay, cool, unless otherwise stated. Right, so brilliant. I can just go ahead and start my stay stitches. So I'm using white thread for this. I tend to mainly use white threads on my makes if it's got like a kind of background like this one has, or white within the pattern. It just keeps the costs down, unless it's got like really beautiful like top stitching that's required within the pattern, then I'll obviously order something that matches. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and do this all in white out of ease, and I am going to use my serger. I haven't set it up yet, I need to set it up here, to do the side seams and things like that, just to neaten it, but I'll get that set up in a minute. I'm just going to focus on the first couple of things that I need to do. So machine set up to standard stitch, 2.4 length, and yeah, we can go. What is happening here? Right, let's move you over here. Cool, let's get the stay stitches in place then. So just going to do that on 10 millimeters, so a centimetre. Machine, keep the needle in and then pivot. So obviously at the moment I don't live near my sisters, so I've had to go off the measurements that they've sent me to make these, and one of my sisters is the same size as me, so it's quite simple. I can just try it on myself. And my other sister who I'm making this top for is not my size, so I'm kind of just guessing. I've made a straight, what size did I make out of this one? Extra large or XXL, which is like a UK 16, I think. Okay. So those are done. And then the next step is the darts. So what I usually tend to do, and I hope past self, I hope my past self has done it. I haven't. So usually I mark where I need to do the darts, and I haven't done that, so that's annoying. But anyway, that's fine. I'll just grab the pattern and do that. I would like to hold my little hand. Ooh, drop my pins. Everything is going everywhere, you guys. Ugh. Right. I would like to reach out my hand. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna tell me to run. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I would like to hold my little hand. One more way. Right, the darts are marked, and now I can actually go ahead and pin it together. Just right sides together, and I tend to start with the inner bit of the dart, then I line up the lines on the bottom part of the dart. Not always the easiest, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love doing darts. In a minute as well, I'm going to take a lunch break, and there's baby swans in my local park. So I'm gonna go, I say baby swans, there's little cygnets in the local park. So I'm gonna go and have a look at them on my lunch break, which will be really cute. And I hope that they're all out. Apparently there's 5 babies at the moment. So what I tend to do is start obviously on the outside of the dart, and then normal stitch length, and as you get about usually an inch towards the edge of the dart, I start to decrease the stitch length. Always back stitch. I'm going to decrease it to 1.8. Cool. So let's do the other side. Happy with those? Okay. So before we move on, let's turn you around here. I have my tiny little iron, which is my Cricut Easy Press. And I just like to iron as I go. And this really helps, especially for like small things to iron, like darts and stuff. It just helps to do it on the go. So I've got my little mini iron, and then I can just go ahead and iron these flat. And then I see you, the way you wear me, like the texture of your skin. Cool, so the darts are done. Next stage, I think, is rather the shoulders. So I can sew the shoulders together, and then once I've done that, I think I'm going to go have a lunch break and a walk. Yeah, my skin is so bad at the moment, and for anyone else that I've never really had acne before. I used to get like hormonal breakouts. You know, just like every month I'd get like pimples on my chin. Chin's always been my problem area anyway. But recently I've just had like clusters of like cysts and stuff like that, and just like even in my head, like my cheeks, everything. And I've never experienced like quite, I wouldn't say it's severe, but quite bad acne. Like it's actually quite sore. And obviously I don't want to put makeup on, especially when I'm just at home, but then when you create content online, I'm very aware that it's like, it's not the nicest to look at, but it's also very real, and so many women or people in general have acne or have, you know, problematic skin. I was going to say bad skin, but it's not bad, it's just problematic. And yeah, so I just thought, do you know what, today, like, because I felt good, I was like, I'm just going to film a video, and even if my skin is not particularly the best, I'd rather film a video and be organic and real with you guys than put on a full face of makeup and make my skin uncomfortable later on. So there we are. But anyone who has acne, or like intermittent acne where it just like comes and goes, like I find it really difficult for my just like my self-esteem, I guess, because it goes away and then you'll have months where it's really bad again, and it's like when it goes away you obviously think, oh okay, like, you know, you feel better in yourself and whatnot, and then when it comes back and it's like when it's like sore and red and everything, yeah, it's just really difficult. But I know I need to show up and just be real and be sort of an advocate for not filtering skin and stuff, because I think that's part of the problem a lot of the time, is we're all so used to seeing the smooth filtered skin on social media, and most of the time that isn't how skin is. We all have like monthly breakouts and everything else, and with my diet and my Crohn's and everything else, like I need to be more gentle myself because my skin just is problematic. So yeah, enough rambling. I'm just gonna pin these shoulders together, really simple, pin at the shoulders and stitch normal seam allowance, and then I'm gonna have a lunch break and I'll be back. The babies. Yay. Hey my loves, I'm back from my lunch break. So the shoulder seams are done and I've just overlocked them, and now I've got to move on to the facing. So on both versions, knit and woven, obviously I'm making the woven version, you need to sew the facings together at the shoulder point. So just those little seams at the top. The weather today, I just have to mention it, it's literally like peeing with rain outside, and then the next minute it's like sunshine, so very weird. Right, let's do my seams on these. It's sitting pretty weirdly to the machine. Press seam allowances open if you're making the woven version. I'm just going to finger press them, to be honest, just for ease. And what's it say? Okay, using a long straight stitch, so 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the facing all the way around. Optionally, if you have a serger, you can serge around the outer edge of your facing. Oh, okay. So the outer edge, so I can use a serger and just do this outer edge. I'll do that now. Okay, cool. So the step is, if you serged it or overlocked the edges like I have, then you do not need to iron this under. But if you aren't finishing your edges like I am, then you would just iron that under 1/4 of an inch. But I can just leave mine because I've obviously done it on the overlocker. So yeah, I'm guessing that's because obviously you have to sew it on the inside, and because I've got it like that, obviously that's fine. The next step is to right sides together, pin the neckline matching notches to the facing, and then just stitch around the neckline, trim away any excess fabric, clip in the notches and press the facing and seam allowance away from the neckline. So that's the next stage. It looks fairly straightforward. Hopefully it will be fine. I am first actually going to attach my woven label on the facing at this stage, because this will be on the inside of the top. I'm just going to sew this in first, and it just makes the process a lot easier if you're sewing in labels. Okay, so with the top, I've pinned the facing onto it, and you want to put it in the machine. Well, I'm going to do it first this way. You want to put it in the machine with it sort of faced up and open as well. Right. And I'm playing bobbin chicken here. I think I should have enough. Should be fine. Oh, bloody bobbin chicken. Right. Pin those. It's got a stitch all the way around with a normal stitch, normal seam allowance, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So we have to clip these corners as close to the seam, or that stitch, without obviously clipping the stitch. So just I'm going to do that very carefully. Check the other side as well, and I'm happy with that. I feel like I don't want to go any closer just in case, but that will give it a nice clean finish. Cool. And then with the other seam, just going to trim it a little, not loads because you need to understitch it. So I'm just going to trim a tiny bit off. Okay, and then the back bit, because it's curved, you just want to trim in a few places. Hey guys, so I've just sewn that, what do you call it, the seam allowance to the facing. So you can see that all the way around there. It's a little bit tricky on the pointy bits, on the corner bits here, but you kind of just go as far as you can and then stop and then restart your stitch. And then underneath it kind of looks like this. So yeah, the next step I think is to pin the facing on to the top like that, and then you have to do your top stitching over the top like this as well. So this is obviously the knit version, so this is obviously for the woven version. Let me just double check. Yeah, so I've got to do this, and then we can move over onto the side seams, and then the rolled hem and finishes. So yeah, it's super simple. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. This bit seems a little bit tricky, but just you're gonna use all of the pins, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So this is all pinned together, and I'm now about to stitch all the way around so that it stays in place. So a bit fiddly this, there's loads of pins, but if I take it slowly it should be fairly straightforward. So that is done. Need to give it an iron, but it looks really nice. Really pleased. So next step is to sew the side seams together, and it's nearly coming together. All I've got to do is then finish the sleeves and the hem, and that's it. So I'm going to finish up the top Next bits are pretty straightforward, and then I'll show you the finished result. So here are the matching outfits that I made for me and my sisters. Obviously the 2 Wilder gowns and then the square neck top. And here is my lovely sister Robin modelling the finished square neck top. I obviously made a size based on her measurements, but it was obviously a little bit oversized, so could have sized down, but there we go. I'm really happy with the result. It was such an easy top to put together. Thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!